You know, our dogs can only grow as much as we are willing to grow. If a fear of judgment or perfectionism, or maybe even some shame, is preventing you from videoing your dog training, you might be unconsciously slowing down your dog's progression. That is emotional barriers that might be holding anyone back from wanting to video their training. Here's the thing. We all have blind spots about ourselves, blind spots about our dogs. Without self-reflection, without feedback, those blind spots are going to keep us stuck. Today, I'm going to talk about what that looks like and how it affects your dog. Plus, I'm going to share with you how we can all reframe those things that have currently got us stuck so we can bust through any obstacles that's preventing us from bringing out the best in our dogs. So if you and I were going to spitball ideas, what would be an emotional barrier that would prevent you from wanting to video your dog training? I think some of the answers would be perfectionism, the need to set up every angle so I'm getting the best perfect angle so that I can see everything the dog's going to be doing, and perfectionism of, I got to clean up my environment. I want to make sure that my bed is perfectly made the way it is every day. Not likely. The perfectionism of you've got to have pressed pants. So perfectionism might be one. And by the way, I'm going to share with you, when I think about perfectionism, I used to have a program called Puppy Peaks where I shared my daily training or my weekly training as I raised my puppy Swagger and then my puppy Momentum. A lot of that videoing I shot in my pajamas. It was not pretty, but the dog training was excellent, I believe. A lot of people really enjoyed that program. So I think that's a great example of, hey, it doesn't matter. You're not showing this to the world. There were actually tens of thousands of people that saw those videos back in the day of me and Swagger doing training when he was a baby. You've got to be vulnerable. You've got to be okay. For you, no one else is looking at it but you. So perfectionism, being self-conscious of what you're seeing, being self-conscious of the way you look, fear of criticism and judgment. It's only you looking, but you've got that little negative voice in your head. And that negative voice is going to be picking out things that aren't going to be pleasant to hear, really. It could be a fear of seeing an error in the training because maybe that cascades some shame in you that, oh, my poor dog stuck with me and my poor dog is putting up with that level of dog training and I don't want to see how horrible I am as a dog trainer. It could be just a lack of confidence. Like, I'm brand new to training this. Like, I'm not a professional. I'm never going to get, 90% of what I'm going to see is going to be flawed. And that comes back and connects you to the shame, the lack of worthiness. Like, what right do I have to even own a dog? All of these negative thoughts that if you didn't video your training, you wouldn't have to come to the edge of these emotional barriers. And so what can we do? We're stuck. We're stuck in this cycle of self-loathing. First of all, let's talk about vulnerability. Vulnerability is the gateway to self-love. Self-love means you can look at a video of yourself and you're going to quiet that negative voice in your head. Let's give that negative talking person a name. Negative Nelly, negative Nancy, negative nobody. Negative nobody has no right to an opinion. Would you go to negative nobody to get some help? Then why are you listening to negative nobody when they're trying to affect your dog training? So number one, you're going to remind yourself, even Susan Garrett started at the bottom. Even Susan Garrett made a ton of mistakes. And even Susan Garrett can find things to improve when she looks at training videos today, almost 40 years after she became a professional dog trainer. So the purpose of videoing our training is to give us clarity. What I really want you to do when you look at that video is not let negative nobody tell you all the things that are hurtful. I want you, first of all, to look for what's good. I'll give you a couple suggestions. Number one, you're training. That's awesome. Number two, you're videoing. Double celebration. Now you're going to pick 1 to 3 things that you believe You did well. Honestly, when we're looking at our dog training videos, it's so easy just to focus on the dog, but the dog only improves when we get better. So pick a few mechanical skills of yours and work to get them better without really judging what your dog is doing. If you did that for a week, I promise you, your dog will improve. And so what's the reframe? The reframe is when negative nobody starts spouting off to you, you're going to say, hold the phone, I've got this. You're going to remind negative nobody, even Susan Garrett makes mistakes. I'm okay. I'm going to be vulnerable here. I'm okay at looking at this honestly, because really, I'm not looking at my messy bedroom. I'm not looking at how wide my hips are. I'm looking at a way to make my dog's life better.